Hey, welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Cardo W. Jr. here, Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr., the Washington Mystics. Told you guys it was a big week. You know, dropped the ball earlier this week in the first matchup against Connecticut, and the Sun were able to do it again. The back-to-back wins for the Sun this week helped them even the season series with the Mystics. Connecticut won tonight 67-56. While their bench did play a part, they didn't match the production of the other night. We saw Tina Charles come alive, which was obviously great for the Sun, not great for Washington. The Sun kind of beat Washington at most of the things Washington likes to do. Washington likes to run. The Sun were fine with that. They went on the glass and they handled their business inside. Ray, we'll start with you and then Cardell. Just your thoughts on what went wrong for the Mystics, and obviously big picture wise, we know where they kind of did not do themselves any favors with these two games this week to start with.
What went wrong was everything. I mean, they scored 56 points. That's just anemic offense. The 16 turnovers didn't help. Connecticut, they were just all over them defensively. You point out Washington likes to do a lot of their damage in the paint. Connecticut just wasn't having it. Every time the ball went down there, they swarmed immediately. And Washington bigs just didn't make great decisions. And then even with the guard play, nobody was able to get any penetration. Nobody obviously shot the ball well. They were under 40% from the field. So it was just a comedy of errors, man. I guess you could say they got to the line, 18 free throws, but if that's your only area in the green, and it's not surprising this game went the way it went. They just lost in every area of the game. Last on Tuesday it was Sanaya Rivers and Olivia Nelson Adota off the bench. This game, Tina Charles in the third quarter, they just couldn't do anything with her. We know what type of player Tina Charles is and has been since she's been in this league, and she just turned back the clock for a little bit to to give the Sun a boost, and they just rode that to a victory. Yeah, you talk about big picture. They put themselves even deeper in the hole. We know what they got coming in to DC this weekend. They needed these two games because now you're looking at possibly going over for the week. And giving away the standings, look, you can't afford that. LA, they're still climbing, and Seattle is one of the teams ahead of you by a couple games in the standings. So, it'll behoove you to get that one. But yeah, man, this is heading down the stretch of the season. This is not a time to be, inconsistent and playing some of your worst basketball. So, hopefully they can go back to the drawing board, get in the lab, and figure things out. Because this weekend is going to be a lot tougher.
Cardo.
Yeah, too much Tina, too many turnovers per usual. Once again, their bench, the bench production is one thing. If you can't score, but you can't let the other team outplay you in both games that you desperately need to, stay in the thick of things and trying to make a playoff push. It just was a disheartening type of performance, man. You know what I mean? Ray brought it up. Tina in that third quarter, 12 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 rebounds. The Mystics only scored 19 as a team. She damn near outplayed them by herself. It was just too many times in this game you just didn't even see urgency, and it's like, well, y'all realize the playoffs at stake, like a possible run, like what's going on? You know what I mean? And you gotta get part of it is Connecticut. They physical, have nothing to play for. They took it home. Misery loves company. I mean, we're not going to play also. Why should you? It's that type of deal. But, you got to compete harder. I'm not even going to talk about turnovers for the rest of the season. That's just something that's just part of this year's team that ain't going nowhere. That's par for the course. But, the second chance points, you got punished in that 16-2. Points to paint 38-28. Bench points 25-14. And they 20-13, they had the edge in assists, 34-27 rebounds. I'm bringing up all these stats so people can understand. It's clear they were the more physical team. And they have nothing to play for, but you're desperate. So how are they playing more desperate than you? That's just something that, they got to do some soul searching, especially going into this weekend. Because bottom line, if they get swept this weekend, all that playoff hope stuff is over. Like, it would have to be some epic collapses for them to stay in the mix as the season ends, man. Sonya, it's crazy. The rookies, the rookies held it down. They held it down. I don't think this just wasn't good, man. You might as well stay in the DC if you was gonna go up to Connecticut and play like this. 37%. I think they had like 26 at the half. Come on now. That's just the team is too good. We've seen them play too far better than this, quarter to quarter, game to game. Than to just get thoroughly outplayed like this, man. This was a winnable game. And once again, the Suns starter, outside Tina's performance, the starters really didn't get nothing going, but neither did the Mystics. So the difference in the game, once again, was the reserves, and obviously Connecticut's reserves, led by a motivated Aaliyah Edwards, 10-5 off the bench in 16 minutes. They all played on that, proved again to be the X factor, man. And by all accounts, like now you 2.5 back. It's only 8 games left in the season. That could have really this loss could have possibly just killed your playoff chances. Seriously, man. Like, it's a lot of games. It's still a few games to be played. Seattle's been up and down. I know Ray brought up LA, but these 2 losses hurt. These are the 2 you should have got to go into this weekend. Like, all right, let's see what it is. Like, let's really see what it is. Now it's like, you know what I mean? And you already know what time Asia been on one the last couple of weeks. Like, I'm in playoff mode. Whoever in the way getting destroyed. Seattle's desperate, so who's gonna be more desperate? And they're gonna come in locked in because they're on the road. They're gonna have to, you know what I mean? And they fight for their playoff lives as well. So like I said, the word to use for tonight is just disheartening. Because you'd have thought they would have came up with better energy, more urgency to play on in all aspects to try to get a win, and that just wasn't the case tonight.
Yeah, alignment with you guys, definitely disheartening. And again, those were supposed to be 2 bankable games to take into this weekend, and after this weekend, they head out on the road. And to echo this point, Cardo, you made it several times this year. They haven't been great on the road. So these 2 bankable games, they not only affect you this weekend, but going forward too. There's a strong possibility, in a week or 2, we're gonna look back and be like, these 2 games were very pivotal. Because they had a chance, not only if they won these 2, would have helped. That also would have gave them a clean sweep of Connecticut this season. But instead, it ends up 2-2. And like you guys both alluded to, Connecticut's bench production both nights. You was saying to Ray, Cardo, and you just said it. It shouldn't be the rookies that are consistent to that degree. That just shouldn't be the case. Regardless of where the team's standing is, just whatever folks' role is, just they've been looking for consistency all year. And the crazy thing is, I don't think we've been talking about the rookies in that regard all year. And rookies are the ones you're supposed to give that grace to because they're doing this for the first time. And oddly enough, these 2, obviously, that's why it's a big role as to why they're all-stars. they've been freaking consistent. More times than not, they've shown up. Real quick, just want to, speaking of those two, Kiki Ariafin, once again, she totaled her 25th 10-point, 5-rebound game in today's contest. What's this evening's contest? She's now tied with Shamika Holtzclaw for the most amounts those games in Mystics rookie in franchise history. By the end of the game, she also finished with her 13th double-double of the season. So again, those rookies at level of consistency, shout out to her. And Sonya, again, they've been maybe the most we've mentioned Holtzclaw's name in the past couple of years because of what these rookies, you ended up on list with her for the, franchise-wise. So again, kudos to both of them. If you guys had nothing else with this game, of course, go ahead, Carter.
My last thing, to answer your question, they're 6-12 on the road after tonight's loss. So, and they're actually tied with Connecticut, 6-12 road record. So we'll say them as they've been winning at home, but got a feeling that ain't gonna be the case after this weekend.
Back-to-back big weeks, big opportunities that they had in front of them, and to this point, it looks like maybe neither week is going to plan. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys.
Gotta go with Kiki. Double, 4-7. To be honest, man, they should have shot more. I'm gonna just be real. As anemic as everybody else was on the man, some T-Tron, Ariafin, take shots AI style. Take shots. Don't nobody. I mean, they either couldn't hit or they act like they didn't want to shoot. All right, cool. Take shots AI style. We good. But Kiki for sure.
Right.
I went with Tina Charles.
My bad, Tina. I'm looking at the list. Yeah, I'm with you, right? Go ahead, right? But Tina played it again.
Yeah, just that third quarter, pretty much quilled everything the Mystics was trying to do. But I mean, to Cardell's point, yeah, like I think that's going to come for them in time. That's a hard thing for rookies to just walk into unless you like just that type of player. I think both of them definitely need to get a little meaner. Because games like this, like you said, Cardell, nobody else could throw a rock in the ocean. You might as well empty the clip. You shooting that well, you only took 7 shots. Something got to give.
But that's not even a player thing. I'm looking more at the coaches. Call that number. I know they ain't gonna rock the boat right now. Next year they're gonna probably start getting more aggressive. Not right now, but that's something the coaches gotta see. I mean, I know they're getting a stat sheet after every quarter, probably multiple times within the quarter. You see what's going on. That's if you're trying to win. Not questioning the effort. Like I said, I'm not in that huddle or something like that, but I'm like, once I see everybody just ice cold, but they got it going, yeah, y'all going to carry it tonight. It is what it is. It's just one of those nights. You know what I mean? Like look on Connecticut's side. Nobody really shot well outside Tina. She got the most shots. She got 14 of them up. The crazy thing is she only played 21 minutes. Obviously, trying to keep her energy up with her being the vet that she is and stuff like that. But who knows? If it was young Tina, this could have easily been one of them 30-15 type games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they definitely needed more shots. They were the only one that can summon up some type of offense. And even with them being a threat to shoot more, they possibly could have got their teammates some easier baskets and stuff like that to get going.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I was hoping we got to the fourth. We see a little bit more of that 2-woman game we've seen between them as the season's going on. We've seen that in spurts where they get going with the screening, the rescreening with Kiki and Sonya getting space. And again, they had it going. X factor for you guys.
I'm about to go with the former Mystic, man. It's all to ignore. That 10 to 5 was huge in 16 minutes. And like I said, she was clearly motivated. She was playing good defense. Obviously, she knows everything they're trying to run. But we talked about this earlier, man. When they trade, like, are y'all sure y'all want to do this? Because if Shakira has an off night, you got no depth, and here we are.
You said it for me, so I have nothing to follow that up with at all. Yeah, that's extremely tough. Again, you got the Aces on Saturday, the Storm on Sunday at home at Care First Arena. Got a couple comments as always, Area 11T. We appreciate you. Terrible. Ain't making the playoffs, but it makes sense since the leaders are rookies or ain't step up.
I don't know who you mean, like, or ain't step up. I don't know who he's referring to. Rookies aren't the problem. They're not the problem. They imagine this team without those rookies. They at Connecticut level, maybe possibly worse, man. They got a lot of work to do. We've discussed throughout the season certain moves we felt teams should have made that weren't made for whatever reason. It could be salary cap. It could be they trying to get picks. They are in the draft. Who knows what the reason is, man? But it's all coming to a head now. You starting to see when they didn't do it, it's starting to hit them hard now. The teams are really ramping up for the playoffs, and they getting really, really locked in. And the weaknesses in the Mystics roster, it's just clear now. This team's in playoff mode. Even the teams that's going in the lottery, like Connecticut, I think people, the fans and stuff, got to also understand they're still playing for jobs next year, especially if they're not under contract. It's not fine they're out the playoffs, but they still got to do their jobs. Otherwise, they won't have a job. And the WNBA is unforgiving in that regard. You could be here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's getting real, but yeah, they definitely. Georgia, Lord Jesus, man, she gonna have such a spotlight on her, like she. And it's not even just the need for a service, like a quality point guard. It's because of what her rookie class did this year. So she gonna add a double whammy. Like, yeah, you better be nice. And turnovers better be down. You better be doing your thing. We ain't trying to hit, dog. It's gonna be like that, man. It's unfortunate because she's still a rookie. She haven't played yet. I mean, she's watching, but she haven't felt it yet. The physicality, the pace, and all that. She ain't been through it. And even the mental hurdle. It's one thing to work out and play pickup stuff. You got to get out there and get over that injury in real time against, real game action. So that's an adjustment in itself. You know what I mean? So, hopefully she delivers, man. But even if she does, you still need depth at every position. You do. You know what I mean? So they got a lot of work to do to build out this roster.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. The holes or lack of depth really has been shown as we've gotten closer to this playoff push. They go to their bench and there's a little bit of a gap almost on a nightly basis. And that's not the knock with Washington. That's just being honest about the teams that they're facing. We watched 2 times this week. Sanaya Rivers, Leah Edwards, and Nelson Adodo came off that bench and changed the game for the Sun, and that's for the Sun. We're not talking about some of the teams we know where the Sun are in the standings. Got to fill this roster out for sure. And he was saying they were saying vet leaders on the first one was the typo. About the vet makes sense since the vet leaders.
I get what he's saying. The leaders are the
clarify. Yeah.
And then even the vets they brought in, like like Alicia. I'm looking at her performances and stuff like that. Like, I mean, her defensive rating this year is 106. It's one of the worst of her career, second at worst of her career, or third worst of her career since her early years in Seattle, like 2016, 2017. And it makes sense. She's 38. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, they got a lot of work to do, and we all know what Alicia has been throughout her career. It's no knock against her. Plus, she's been thrown into a mix that I'm pretty sure coming in the season she wasn't locked into. She was trying to be with vets, but she's with a rebuilding team. It's just different, man. So yeah, and, releasing Kone, all that stuff like that. Unless Kone wanted to be released, it's just a lot of stuff, man. And it's just clear, like there was some optimism because the rookies with the Sykes and all them, they was holding it down. But it seemed like as soon as they traded Sykes, it's been down, slowly going downhill ever since, man. And they got work to do because it's hard to imagine free agents wanting to come to the situation. Let's just be real about it. So they're going to have to continue to draft well and develop well.
Other part about it, the Wild Wild West, that clock officially, is that whole part of everything officially starts once the season concludes. Like, feels like 85% of the league's in free agency. Like, there's going to be a lot of changes, man. Like, I know we mentioned that, here and there during the course of this year, but something to keep in mind.
Especially with the expansion things.
That part of it too. And now the expansion teams, if you're an expansion team, you just saw what Golden State hit the ground running do. You can be even, I guess if you're the teams that have to make players available, I'm sure nobody expected that. And look where they're at. They're in the playoff hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be even more careful about that depth. And not only that, Cardell, to your point about replacing that depth for the teams that when you have to let people go for the expansion draft, it's going to affect everybody in different ways. They went with felt like there was no effort on defense at times. Either that, we're going to need some better athletes on the perimeter.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the right way to say it, and I get into trouble. I really was. I was like, man, I can, yeah. I'm just leave it at that. You're right, my man. I agree.
And I mean, that speaks to Sykes' absence. She played a lot of defense at point of attack. So yeah, with that pressure not there no more, it just makes everybody else's life harder.
Follow that up with also playing like she doesn't want to be here.
She just got to be more consistent. That's just, if she's not consistent, she won't. She won't be. It's just the name of the game, man. She's super talented, one of the most athletic bigs and versatile bigs in the league. She can cover a lot of ground defensively. When she's really locked in defensively, she's a one-woman with wrecking crew. Blocking shots, rebounding. She can push the rock a little bit. She can cover ground, block three-point shots. Even when they get a step on her, she can recover, cut them off, and force miss. Like, the problem is she's just not consistent. You know what I mean? And then offensively, you can kind of get in her head a little bit. When she don't get touches, she missed a couple shots, she get frustrated. And you gotta get past that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's just being real. What we seeing in the game. This ain't no shot, nothing like that. The rookies are more poised than they are, and they've been in the league for a few years. That says a lot. It says a lot, man, and it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. Like, y'all should be setting an example so the rookies can try to, like, not saying behind the scenes they haven't and all that, but yeah, man. Shakira sometimes it's frustrating because she's so damn talented. Like, she should be a perennial all-star by now. Fighting for all WNBA honors, man, because what she's capable of on both ends. Like, it's stopping her from averaging, like, doing what Kiki did with three blocks and being a monster on defense the way she swung. 15 points, 10 plus rebounds, 3-4 assists, 3 blocks. We're stopping her from doing that every game. That's it.
A couple more comments. The fact the worst team was dancing and having fun because they whipping you is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I'm one of them dudes. I'm one of them people like, man, when, some people don't like win with integrity. You had 4 quarters to stop all that, dog. Like, man, You had a lot of time to stop all that, man. Nah, deal with that ass well. Yeah, nah, take the ass whooping like a woman, like or a man, you know, on the fella side, man. Like, no, you got plenty of time to stop that. Plenty of time. Like, what you mad for? I hate that. Like, what you mad for now after the game? You want to fake fight and stuff, and like, oh, where was this energy? You had to get a stop, get the board, hit a shot, make the pass. Come on, man. That's or if you was gonna do that, fine. If you want to fight, do that during the game. Do it then. Show something. Show some intensity. Don't do it because you get your head rocked and you feel the season slipping away. That's BS to me, man. So yeah, they got work to do with the roster, and it ain't just talent. Certain type of character that need to be up in the building, man. You know, let's just players where the age. They, you know what I'm saying, just straight up.
I think the last couple we had facts at this point. When you guys were talking about earlier, talking about those two, probably should have took more shots. The All-Star duo should just focus on expanding their games. They're not competing for the postseason.
It's not even just expanding the game. I'm not saying just throw up some BS shots that's inefficient, and because they're not going to expand their games in the last 8 games of the season anyway. That takes reps and work consistently over the course of some time in the gym and over the all season. Whatever they do well now, just shoot more times, doing whatever they do well now. That's just what it is, man, because the ball was going in. And it's not just limited to them. If they were off and someone else was on, I'm like, get them the ball. It's just basketball is a simple game. It's a simple game. The team is struggling offensively, but we got a couple plays that's going. Get them more touches, get them more shots. Simple as that.
Okay, this is the last one. Sorry. Does the expansion allow teams to take fresh draft picks?
First draft, you know, like in the draft, they're gonna have to because the Valkyries did. They're gonna have to. I don't know if they're gonna do the. Did they have an expansion draft for the Valkyries, or did they just have like a free agent? Okay.
No, they did. They had everyone protect 6 people, and then the Valkyries had the option to select what they wanted from that group, or take folks out of free agency. Then also, they picked 5th. They slotted them 5th, right, I think, in the draft. Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to do that too. So.
Oh, he cleared it up. Yeah, no, those players aren't available in the expansion draft.
Nah, hell no. Yeah. Nah, the teams make the decision on who they want to put in the pool. You know, like I don't know if you watched the Bad Boys 30 for 30. That's how Rick Mahorn left Detroit, and well, I think he went to like Cleveland first, and then he ended up in Philly with Barkley and them. Right after they won a first championship, the first of their back-to-back championship, he got caught up in the expansion draft. No, Minnesota. He went to Minnesota. That's when Minnesota first came into the league. He got caught up in the expansion draft. They made him available, and they took him. And he found out literally during the celebration, the championship celebration, he was on stage and they pulled him off and was like, yeah, you ain't a member of this team no more, dog. You got picked up. Yeah, it's cold, dog. So the business can be cold, but yeah, it's similar to that. But yeah, it's about to be a lot of changes because it's the CBA negotiations going on, the expansion, teams trying to get better. You know, at this point, man, just keep open mind. Only people we know Sonya and Kiki gonna be here. That's we know that. We just know that. And in Georgia, we know that. Everybody else, I'm like, hey man, I can't tell you, dog. Like
that goes for a lot of teams.
Man, what?
Like that goes for a lot of teams. Like, not to be mean, you can look at the Aces. We know Asia's safe after that. However them spots fill up, they're gonna fill up as they may. Seattle, I know Malunga's safe. I don't know what else happens.
Yeah, man.
There. Like, it's gonna get crazy, man.
Yo, I think everybody that was in the league before the 2023 draft is a free agent.
Yeah. Because I think that rookie deal is only 3 years, so this is the 3rd year.
Yes. It's
gonna be
crazy.
Oh, okay, so they were following up. That's probably the reason why they moved Invest for all those picks, I would think.
Nah, I think that was salary cap and trying to get some draft picks. That's what that was more about. You know what I'm saying? That's just like it's gonna get ugly. Like, you know, the ladies talking tough now. But when them deposits ain't hitting that bank after a while, that's when we really gonna see, bro, because it's gonna get nasty. Because I don't think people understand the ratio of money that's involved with it. I think like 60 some percent is still, you know, like 58% is tied to the NBA owners, you know, that the revenue and stuff like that. That's they still cover a lot of the pot. You see how they done hit the fella side of things. Like, they not playing, man. They're not playing. So with the apron stuff, so yeah, it's gonna get nasty, man. You know, yeah, and, you know, I don't know if y'all talked about on the show because I was busy. With the report of the alleged deal that was in place with the $1 million contracts and.
No, we didn't touch it on. We didn't touch on it this week.
Well, WNBA show, we can touch on that real quick. Like, and they shut that down. I'm looking at them like, hold on, y'all get what? So the highest paid players, the Asia Wilsons, and the fees and all them, will get $1 million contracts for the first time ever, and the minimum will be $250K. And y'all shut that down. I'm like, if that report is real, yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, it's about to be bad. Y'all.
PA negotiations in sports are horrible, nasty fights. Like, none of them are pleasant. The only time it's pleasant is when they don't get to the year that the thing expires. Now, if they get to that year, it's nasty.
Whenever it comes down to the wire, it's yeah, forget about it, man. Because they didn't just start talking about it this year.
And the thing is, we don't know everything they trying to get. The ladies, obviously, they can't put it out there. There's negotiations and stuff. They can't put their hand out there. Again, y'all tell me what y'all think. If that report is true, do y'all feel that's more than fair for the ladies, that type of pay? Because my thing is this. If this is what's happening, dog, they can't compare themselves to the fellas, man. Like, that's two different. It's two different ball games, and that's what people get themselves in trouble. Like, we should be getting. If it's a lot of ladies feeling like we should be getting that, it's like, no, you're not generating that. That's not real. Yeah. Like, we all for the ladies getting their break. I'm not one of these. Not be thankful you got a job playing bad. No, get your break. Yeah, like we've been saying that. Like Tarazi should have been getting paid millions of dollars to play. Players, Candace, Maya, they should sue. They should have been getting $1 million contracts. They were that good and that great, but the league wasn't in a place to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They pushed it forward. Now, if that report is true, is on the table. Clearly, they're in a position to try to do that, and you reject it for the first time ever, and you reject that.
If that report, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I seriously doubt, at least I hope, none of them are feeling like they should be getting the NBA contracts. Because like you said, Cardell, the math just don't add up for that. And to make that type of leap is impossible. But I do think they still think they were lowballed a little bit, which, I mean, could be the case. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's a significant increase. And it got to be some type of compromise at some point, because you're not going to get every single thing you want exactly how you want.
That's my point. You said it perfectly. That's where I'm at. Like, all right, we got one thing. We getting paid because you getting paid millions. Let's say they be like, all right, we can't give you the little resources and all that other stuff that you may want, that you might be used to in college and stuff like that. And this is what you got to deal with. Cool. I got the money to afford it on my own now. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, only they know all the intricate details of what's going on and stuff like that. But yeah, that report is real, because I'm like, that quadruples your salary. I'm like, what do you, the minimum?
Yeah.
Minimum 250. So, like, Sika Kone ain't getting 250 because she was the last one. You know what I'm saying? Or Madison Scott, she just got signed. You know, that's the league minimum, 250. That's a hell of a salary.
Yeah, and I don't know if how much that the TV deal is affecting this, which I mean that's a big influx of money coming into the league.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know, man, but that type of increase, that's significant. So if they rejecting that, I'm sure they know something we don't know, or they're banking on having an ace in the hole at some point. But yeah, I hope they didn't paint themselves into a corner because, like you said earlier, it's we gonna see if there's a work stoppage, what type of stand they're really going to be able to make. Because yeah, you miss a deposit or two, and things get tricky.
And look, and you also got, and here's the other side of that. Y'all really only play from like May to September, bro. Like y'all don't play that long. That's a lot of money to be just playing like a few months. You see what I'm saying? Like half of NBA season. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So maybe that could have something to do with it. Like y'all get paid that $1 million contract, y'all got to play longer. But I don't see how they get the logistics of it, because then you running into the NBA season and stuff. So it's only so long they can play. Like it's a lot of things that I'm just throwing out there for people that watching to kind of weigh when they looking at this, because it's gonna get louder. But if they ain't learned nothing else from the fella side, zip it. Just zip it. They ask you questions. Look, negotiations ongoing. When we strike a deal, you will know, and just keep it moving, because the owners don't say nothing. You just see results
Nope.
coming. You just you just saw tax papers came down. You like, what the? And you could tell even with the players on the fella side, they ain't quite understand what's going on till free agency hit.
Hmm.
And then they was like, yo, where my 90? Man, you better take this $20 million deal and call it a day. And they were like, oh, this reality?
Wait. And to you guys' point, I hope that is not real. Other thing to keep in mind is like you have so much ground to make up for where the league started, right? You're not gonna be able to cover all that ground in this deal. It's just like just being honest, it's not possible. We all in agreement that yes, you deserve more. You have to get what you deserve. I don't know if you can get everything in this negotiation because right now the league's not even operating independently yet. Like Cardell, you just mentioned, the NBA still got
Most of the
got a
fees.
hold in everything. So like for me, I would if that thing is remotely ballpark of where it may be, I would just hope that they keep that in mind that you're this isn't the deal that closes that gap because there's so many steps that have to be taken before you can close that gap. Like it's great because like in my mind it's like, all right, get the money. Like if you can raise the floor on both the ceiling on the top echelon of the league and then the floor of the minimum as you were just talking about, that could go from 30 or 20K to 250. That's great. The next thing I think you would have to do is, as you're gaining traction and everything else, take the necessary steps to get your own media deal separate. That's not, you got to separate from the association. And then I think the deal after that, then you can I think it's probably cleaner to figure out the 50-50 split and all that stuff. But right now, I don't think you possibly can because of how the league got started. And it's still tied together right now. I don't see it being possible for everything to get cured in this negotiation right here.
Okay, so I just looked it up real quick so we can be on point. So if the report is true, the alleged report is the WNBA players turned down the CBA agreement proposal that would have increased their salaries. So the minimum salary would have increased from 66 to 250,000, and the maximum salary would have increased from 250,000 to 1 million. Some of the players said it was a slap in the face. Most notably, Satsu Sabali, she was talking about it, but at that point we didn't really know. They said it was a slap in the face if the report is true. It's based on the revenue sharing. So NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, their revenue share is always between 48-50%. The WNBA right now stands at 9.3%. So I think that's why they like, nah, that's that ain't it. We need more of that. That's what they really fighting
That never
for.
makes sense.
And
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, okay, but what's a good percentage y'all think will be good? Because I don't know if they could get 48 to 50 though. I don't know if they can get in that range. Not right now. And not until like what you said, Wilson, they're independent,
Yeah.
not tied to the NBA.
Maybe like 60-40 best case.
40% of it.
Yeah, but even that's a huge leap in one step.
Yeah, from 9 to 40. I know the only
Yeah.
thing going for that though. Because think about it, most of the teams are losing money. They're not even bringing no money in.
Yeah.
And we so I know that.
And even on the men's side, what saved them is revenue sharing from the TV deal, but the WTV deal not as big as theirs. I really think they got lowballed on the TV deal, to be perfectly honest. With the rate of growth that they've been showing over the last few years, or for the WNBA, and they did what, $2.2 billion for what's that, 11 years? I think they could have got more than that, but who knows, man? It's tricky. They're in a tricky spot all around.
Yeah, I just don't think they can cover. I don't think they can get everything taken care of in this agreement. They're just
that's just,
you got to separate from, like, they're not able to be independent yet. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I think they're still tied association, I just think all that's like the pot's still messy. It's convoluted. And especially when we talk about the revenue part of it, like, 9.8 is crazy, but again, when you talk about the other leagues, they're not in the same situation as you, where somebody else is in MLB's pockets, no one else is in NFL's pockets. Like, that's their own. They have their own pot. So I think that's going to play a role too. Go ahead.
So I'm reading more on it, saying, so for that $2 billion over 11 years, that's $200 million per season. And and it seemed like the players, from what they're saying, they want more of that cut. You know what I mean? So obviously it'd be dope to see it, but when you weigh all the logistics of running the league, building fees, practice facilities, and travel, coaches' salaries, and you're not bringing it, the owner's gonna look at that, man. They're gonna look at that, dog. Because look what they did with the fellas, and the fellas bringing in the money like that. They had to shut that down because they're not happy with how some of the fellas are moving as professionals. Let's call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Taking advantage of it. Yeah, it's a lot. I just hope. All right, my point is, man, I just hope the ladies don't get too greedy and put themselves in a compromising position where it's like they go backwards instead of forward. That's just my whole point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's my worry too. Like, however it shakes out is, even if it's a small step right now, because again, I don't believe you can get everything. Just keep taking the incremental steps to go forward. Then eventually you'll have everything. But it's beyond it. Like, disheartening is not even at the top of the list of words if they go backwards. You know what I'm saying? After the momentum they've had to start pushing forward, they just can't go backwards, bro. Just can't.
I at least want them to get to the point where the players don't have to go overseas no more. They can stay at home. Let's get to that point first. Unless they just want to. Unless you just want to, you can train in all season, get ready for the season, take care of your family, whatever it is you want to do, enjoy life, whatever, and then get back to the next season. At least get it to that point. And those salaries will do that. But this should get vicious, man. You start messing with these owners, and the owners don't talk. They talk to each other. They talk behind the scenes. But they don't be on social media talking a whole lot. You just hear that bomb drop when it's time. You're like, damn, hey, man, we just seen it. Like, what's the big discussion in the NFL with a certain draft pick? And they wanted to send a direct message to certain people, like, we not playing this game. It gets vicious up top. So, and talking through social media ain't gonna help. They just gonna be looking back. Oh, y'all think it's sweet? we're gonna make an example. You're on mute.
Just saying, yeah, it's gonna get nasty. I just don't want them to go backwards.
Yeah, can't do that.
That's what I want most, is not to go backwards. But those numbers, as alarming as they are, like again, like I think it gets a little bit easier. Make the pot less convoluted, where it's just your pot, and I think it's easier. I think it's splitting and figure out your percentages. But right now, but it's like they're about to have 14 teams, so maybe half of the teams, or close to half of the teams right now, they're all affiliated somehow by the NBA directly through ownership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, like, and then for a media deal, to Ray's point, those, everyone doesn't have their own building. So, that goes into it too. Like, there's just so many ties right now to the association. And I think eventually, yeah, but there's steps that they have to take to get to where when you're your own separate entity, then it's easier to be like, hey, this is exactly what we're doing. This is what we bring to the table. These are the numbers. But right now, I don't think that's a battle they can win right now. Like,
and not even just their own building, man. Even if they have their own arena, some don't even have their own practice facilities. Like they it's so much that you need as an athlete to be able to just do your job as a professional. Even how they fly and travel is still not up to par. I know they would like their private plane life, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? It all that has to be weighed, man. And that's what we're saying. So it's going, like Ray said, it's going to have to be a compromise. They just got to pick what type of wins they want, which is most relevant now, and just roll with that. And then the next one, fight for more. You know what I'm saying? As the league grows, that's just how I gotta go. But I hope they just not in the mindset of just we trying to get everything now, because the most be like, I hate to do this to y'all, but y'all done lost your mind.
It's not possible to get everything right now. You got to prioritize what you need right now. Like you guys said, every agreement you go forward. Who knows? Like in 10 years, maybe you're fully separate because of your growth. You're fully separate from the association. Things get interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows? During the next 5 years, maybe media companies want to separate you from the association. You know what I'm saying? Like those are like, you never know how that stuff's gonna play out with the momentum that you guys been garnering. But I think the biggest thing, like I think for me, is just like they gotta get separate from the league, the NBA side. Then I think it's a little bit easier to figure out the money and everything. But right now, as long as that's tied together, I don't even know how you go about navigating all that. Because like the league started with them intertwined already. Like it's been like that.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be tough, man. But as always, we appreciate you guys being with us. We'll check in with you guys twice more this weekend. Ray will be in the building. We got the Aces on Saturday, the Storm on Sunday. So for Cardell, Ray, and myself, we will see you guys a little bit later this week.